through the window, by the window.
Welcome to tonight's episode of Side Hustle. Tonight, we're going to talk about the world beyond and the paranormal. But I'm not alone. I'm with my motherfucking boys! Let's go!
Let's get it,
Welcome
man.
back to Side Hustle. We got Rick, Kev, Diego.
Yo.
Yeah. Who the fuck is this? Hey, yo, who invited this guy? No way. No way. 100 likes and we'll reveal who it is. Oh, what the fuck? He's wearing a wig. All right, y'all. Y'all know why we're here. This is the Halloween episode of Side Hustle. Rick, what is your costume?
Chucky. Chucky.
Yo, that was crazy.
Nice. Kev, what you got on?
Dude, I'm a penguin.
Let's go. I like it. It's fire. Is that blood on purpose?
Yeah, because I had to throw, because the penguin's a little goofy. I want to be a little scary, so I threw on bloody
Facts,
apron.
facts. That's
I
fire.
killed all the other penguins, the pack.
Shit.
Alone.
Fire. Diego, what do you tonight?
I'm a greaser, man.
Okay, you look
Represent
greasy.
it. Look
Yeah,
Nah, you rocking it. You rocking
Yeah,
it.
it looks fire.
Yes, sir.
You have the perfect hair for that.
that's what I like to
For
hear.
real. Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah,
I've never known anybody in my life with eyebrows as thick as mine, so I met Diego.
hell yeah, dude. All right. When I was a kid, bro, people used to tell me that my shit looked like caterpillars
Me too.
No,
or
way.
like
My
potato
new-
wedges.
My new caterpillar brother.
Potato wedges.
Potato wedges.
No
Some
way.
JoJo's.
Dude, you guys call them JoJo's or no?
Ooh,
What?
Potato wedges?
I've never heard that.
Neither have I.
Ever
It's
since
kind of
we-
like a West Coast thing.
I think so. We call them JoJo's.
Would you guys get that or what?
I don't know.
Just always called that.
We'd pull the Fred Myers and be like, let's get some JoJo's.
I've never heard that. What
Me
the
neither.
fuck?
Can't say that.
JoJo's. Jay, what are you?
Rocking the werewolf.
Fire.
Yeesh.
All right, Diego.
What about you?
Wait,
bro?
yeah,
Come
yeah,
on.
yeah.
hold on.
Oh,
Yeah, for real. What the?
I'm a horse. None of my legs are not closed. I'm your favorite sister, baby. All right. Diego, you're telling me about the scariest story you ever heard take place in Woodstock.
Oh, okay. I was telling them about that on the way here. I was spooking them out, bro. We were sitting at the Taco Bell drive-thru, and I was like, wait till you hear this. So when I worked at Taco Bell when I was in high school, you know that picture I showed you guys?
Yeah.
I'll show it to you guys after. That shit is fucking.
For real, we'll pop it up right here.
Wait,
Yeah.
should we? Are you
All
okay
right.
with it? Are you okay with it?
Yeah, I just
All right.
blur the kid's face or
Oh,
something.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
bet.
We'll blur the majority.
All right,
Yeah,
y'all.
just blur the people's
Yeah.
faces, but
Picture
like,
right here.
put right.
Creepy as fuck.
Shit
That's
scary.
real.
It's a real deal,
Scary
bro.
ass picture.
Authentic ass picture too.
Facts.
But anyway, so the same night that I got that picture from my manager, one of the ladies who works there, well, I think she still works there, but she was telling me a story about how she came here from Mexico and she got to Woodstock because her brother lived there with his only son, just the two of them. Some apartments, I don't know where, somewhere around here. Not here, this neighborhood, but like, somewhere in this Woodstock. And she was telling me how like when she got there, well, like she had the chance to get there because her brother and his son slept in the same room because his son was too spooked to sleep alone. So he warned her. He told her that like every night that his son would basically like freak out and like not want to like sleep, and he'd come home from work and his kid would be all freaked out and like up, like on a weekday, like late. Dude worked second shift, so he'd be getting home at like 1 a.m. or something, and kid was spooked every single night except for one night he came home and bien calladito, nothing. So he went to go peek the room, and he said when he peeped in the room, bro, that he saw like this. So the way she described it to me was like a really tall, skinny, like black person, like like a shadow,
Hey, man. Jenny, tell him. Hate has no home here.
It's 2022.
Yeah.
Anyways, like a really tall, like black shadow, like a figure, and that it saw him, and what it was doing that really scared him was like it was pulling his son out of bed by the legs, just like the kid was sleeping, bro. Said the kid was sleeping, but that thing was just like yanking him, not yanking him, but like taking him out the bed, bro. And then when it saw him, it got spooked. Well, it didn't get spooked, but like it saw him, so it noticed its cover was blown, and it booked it into the fucking closet of the room, bro.
It flung the kid?
No, the
Jeez.
thing let go of the kid and
Oh.
it ran. And that would have been crazy, man.
I mean, that's
nasty
still
ass
crazy.
wake up call right there. Yeah.
Nah, that's wild.
But yeah, so she still went and stayed there knowing all this, right? She only stayed there one night. So she told me that when she got there that she was in the room already spooked the fuck out, right? Like hearing all this shit, you're going to be spooked. Like what the fuck? she told me that it was like she couldn't sleep, so it was maybe like 3 a.m. witching hour, like maybe 3, like about to be 3, but that she was just chilling, bro, just chilling, trying to sleep but couldn't sleep, and she noticed that she told me that she noticed her closet like woke up or like started opening up, and she's like, no way, no way. It was dark as fuck in her room. Yeah. She told me that the closet opened up enough for the same thing to stick its head out at her and talk to her, bro, in Spanish. But in Spanish, instead, it's like, si tú piensas que nomás soy yo el que estamos aquí, somos muchos. Somos varios que estamos aquí. Like she said, dude, she told me, bro, that it was like the nastiest voice she's ever heard, like a deep voice. Yeah, dude, something like freaky, bro, in that.
Rick didn't like that.
Yeah, so.
Is it bro stop?
Yeah, that's the scariest shit she ever told me, like locally that I know.
That's
But
fucking
yeah,
wild.
she said she got up and left. She went to go sleep in her car.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's scary.
I don't know if I'd feel more safe in my car, but
Yeah.
Well, yeah, me neither, but
that's fucking
I'd rather get
wild.
out of that room too, you know? If something
Yeah.
like
No,
that,
fuck
talk to
yeah.
me, bro.
Yeah.
That's fucking weird.
I'm driving till the sun comes up, man.
Literally,
No.
Dude, I'm listening to church.
They just start playing gospel on,
Yeah,
the, fucking,
bro.
on the radio.
The live streams.
Would you think though, like, say you went to a church like in the middle of the night, you'd still be freaked out though?
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm
I would. I feel like
scared,
churches
Even
are
if-
creepy.
But even if it's
Terrified.
like supposed to be like a safe place, isn't that?
I'd be
Kinda weird.
terrified. Yeah, but because I feel like I'd be scared because of all the fucking bad shit that also happens in churches and
Yo,
stuff. You know?
exactly.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
A lot of bad shit happens in
But I feel like a lot of people rely on like religion for like I'm saying, like a safe place, or like
Yeah.
when something bad happens or paranormal, like they start praying and shit.
I don't.
I don't know.
I used to go to church like every Saturday, like at 6:30 when I was younger, and Jenny would go too and stuff with her family, or we'd go together sometimes. But I didn't go this one Saturday, and my cousin Alex went. Jenny, I don't know if you were there, but he told me like that later that night they were having church like mass like usual, and some fucking white dude in a big black fucking trench coat comes in, and obviously everyone's sitting down, no one stands up and shit unless it's the time to do so. And this dude in a black trench coat just comes in to church loud and fucking starts like stomping, like walking right up to the father and just like spits on him, fucking like walks out. And everyone's like, what the fuck? Were you there for that, Jenny? You were?
You were there for that?
Oh, shit.
You were there too? That's how was the experience? I heard that someone everyone was like, what the fuck? And that someone like went to go call the cops and look around and no one, he wasn't outside and shit. They couldn't find him. That's creepy as fuck.
That's wild.
You think
wild.
that's some like devil shit? How they say that the devil appears like that, like as people sometimes?
I don't know, because it could be some shit like that, but also it could be like, what if,
Some fucking crackhead.
or no,
Yeah.
like
some like Satanist or something.
Or-
or like
Yeah.
some fucked up shit going on in the church and like
Bro,
like,
y'all
kinda
never-
backlash.
That's true, yeah.
I just
He probably was there early in the morning for the white church and he no le tocó la hostia. He didn't get those.
se acabó el vino, no? Like, damn.
That's scary as fuck though. Did you get the chills when you were there and you saw that? I bet. I would have been like,
'Cause, I don't know, shit like that reminds me of like, you guys never heard that story of in Belvedere, La Polo, how they say that the girl who had her 15 there danced with the devil?
Yes.
what?
You guys have
Heard
never
of
heard
that.
about
I heard
that?
that.
Oh my God, I
Supposedly
got
she
the
was
chills.
dancing with no one,
But
but
no one in the video.
In the
Yeah,
video,
in the video she's dancing by
Jermaine
herself.
Chambellan. Somebody tell the story, 'cause I
Yeah.
remember it.
Oh my God, I'm getting chills.
Go ahead.
That's
You're good,
crazy.
you're good.
you guys.
So like I remember like a little bit of it because my dad's the one who told me a long time ago.
I remember hearing this too when I was newer to Woodstock.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
remember
when I was a
someone
kid,
telling me.
And
that's
I
when
had,
they told
I
me
had
this
cousins in Belvedere, so like it was
Yeah.
big.
So basically, like they threw a 15 for that girl, and it was like perfect, but not to her. So that at least this is the version that I heard. So like that would be very chuda. She didn't like how everything was going. Like people would ask her to dance, her chambelans would ask her to dance. She would say no to everybody except for this one dude. Some dude, real handsome dude, showed up. Nobody knew who he was, but as soon as he came in, it started smelling like sulfur in the whole venue and shit. And like cuando estaba bailando con él, like he went up and asked her to dance and shit. And she said yeah. Y que cuando estaba bailando con él, que like she noticed that he had like a foot of a chicken or some shit like that and a goat, and the lights turned off, bro, and she was on the ground desmayada and he was gone. And that's all it is.
And then later on in the video,
In the video, in the movie, they shoot movies, that she was dancing by herself.
what
Yeah.
the fuck?
So what I heard kind of like, I don't know, maybe, and I know it's the same story, but that her Chambelán de Honor, like the day of her 15, he got like sick or some shit.
Oh, okay.
So like he couldn't show up or something like that. And supposedly like he still showed up, but like it wasn't him or whatever.
There's somebody else.
Yeah, pretty much like that.
That's probably
And then what
different
you said-
versions, yeah.
That's crazy because it was supposed to be like, it was like a local story,
Yeah,
Yeah.
but like I looked it up, and I guess all over the United States, especially in the southern states, there's stories of that happening, bro. Like of quinceañeras and shit like that, the devil showing up.
What the?
That is wild.
Yeah,
That's wild.
That's crazy though. The local, like it's crazy when you hear local shit like that.
For real.
It's like, damn, it's right there, you know.
I could have been at the fairgrounds, bro.
for real.
I'm surprised there's no stories with the fairgrounds, man.
There probably is, bro.
probably
It's probably
is,
been
yeah.
brushed under the. You know what I'm saying?
Sheesh.
There probably is some weird shit because these towns are old, bro. Like,
Yeah.
they're real
Yeah.
old.
What's
The
one,
houses.
Diego? What's one of the scariest things you personally experienced? Because you were telling us in the last episode that's not out yet. This moment that you live in a house that you're pretty sure is haunted,
Uh-huh.
and your family and yourself have had a lot of experience with like spooky shit.
So did I tell you about the time where like I know I told you about when my dad saw the kid in the house. I know I told you about that. But I don't know if I told you about the time. It was I was dating this girl at this time, and I was gonna take her home, and I want to go start the car, you know, so warm up a little bit. And
What a gentleman.
Pues ya sabes. But so the way my house is set up is my driveway is like this, where we park, and on the side of the crib there's a door, a mosquetero. You know what that is? Like a screen door.
Mhm. Yeah.
And then the actual door, and then the staircase goes down to the basement, or you could take a left up the stairs to the kitchen. So I was in the car, you know, I want to go turn it on, and as I'm turning it on, I see her like through the screen door, and she's like putting on her boots, and she like stops talking, or she like stops putting on her boots and starts like talking and like looking down the stairs to the basement, and I'm like,
And you're looking at this from outside.
yeah, I'm in my car right now.
Uh-huh.
Like I had just started, so I'm still in the car,
Yeah.
and I like see her, and I'm like, the fuck? Who the fuck is she talking to? You know, I'm
That's
like
wild.
starting to get jealous and shit.
Yeah.
I'm like, but
that your dad won her over.
yeah, I'm like, what up? You know.
Your dad's like, hey, mijo, me toca.
All right, bro.
That's fucked up. But that's fucked up though. Nah, but yeah, so I see her and shit. I'm
Spooky
like,
episode.
yeah, no, right?
sorry.
Start acting a fool and shit.
Sorry,
but,
sorry. It's instilled in me. All right, go ahead. My bad.
But yeah, you made me lose my train of thought.
You
But,
saw her and you're like, what the fuck was she talking to?
oh yeah. So like I'm just watching her, right? Cause she's like talking, like sure I can't hear her, but like I see her and she's like talking, see her mouth moving and shit. And then I'm like watching her and she just stops and I see her face, like bro, it's like pure terror, like como que se espantó bien culero, you know? And I'm like, what the fuck? And I see her like turn around and like freak out and try and get out the door, and the door won't open. And I'm like, man, this is some fucking movie shit right now. That's a Hollywood shit.
Oh, hell
So
no.
I'm like, all right. So I get out the car, and as soon as I get out the car, bro, like her door, like she opens the door and she runs to me, and she's like, "There's somebody in your basement. Like I heard somebody down there. There's a man, this and that." At the time, the only people that were in my house were my mom and my sister, and they were sleeping.
Yeah.
We were the only ones awake because I was gonna take her home. And she's like, "There's somebody in your basement. Like there's a man down there and shit." And I was like, nah, you're tripping. I was like, it's the boiler, you know, it was nothing. It was nothing, bro. I was like, you're
Not
tripping.
the
It's the
boiler.
boiler
Bro,
from
it's
Home
'cause-
Alone.
Dude, it's because you gotta, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, pues ponerte los huevos, bro, because
Yeah.
te espantas bien culero. Like, fuck that. But, so I told her, I'm like, it's nothing, you know, whatever, it's the boiler. I take her home, bro, and on the whole ride there and back, it's in the back of my mind. I'm like, damn, what the fuck? Like,
You're like, can I stay at your
yeah, I'm like, bro, what did she hear or something? So what I'm like, whatever. Get to the crib, park the car, go inside, and I sit on the staircase. So you know, I told you I got stairs. I go down, take a left. There's a little staircase right here, leads up to the kitchen. I was sitting on those escalones right there, bro. Me está quitando los zapatos. I was just sitting there and shit, and then I'm just, you know, it's quiet. Everybody's sleeping. And I hear, bro, like in my basement in the corners, bro, like the far corners, like where I had the washer and shit. I hear footsteps, bro. I hear like a heavy footstep. Como, like if Rick was walking around down there with his work boots and shit, you know what I mean? Just a heavy footstep, bro. Just boom. And I'm like, no way. I'm like, no puede ser, bro. I'm like, what the fuck? So I'm just listening, bro. I'm sitting there and it's closer, bro. I just hear the steps coming towards me. They get to the bottom of the stairs, bro. And I'm just listening, and it still freaks me out a little bit because I was just sitting there, bro, and I hear the escalon at the bottom of the basement just creak, bro, like somebody put weight on it. Bro, I got scared. I ran upstairs. I'm like, Mom, there's somebody in the fucking basement, bro.
Wow.
Hey.
Dude, she's religious as fuck, bro. So she got spooked and shit. And I called my dad, bro, and I told him that there was somebody in the basement. He came home fast as fuck. And we went down there, the three of us, to look, bro, everywhere. We didn't find nobody and shit. But it was funny because, like, my dad was down there on a mission, bro, like, find somebody to murk. And my mom's walking around with a gallon of holy water. Santa Maria, Mother, blessing the whole shit, bro.
Fuck
But
that.
that was one of the scariest things I did experience at my house. Or when I told you that, like, my foot got pulled when I was playing PlayStation with my friends.
That one's wild. Tell that one real quick, huh?
So it was like, I was probably like 15 or 14. I think I was a freshman. But it was late, bro. It was during the summer. I was playing PlayStation with the homies, you know, late at night and shit, just chilling at a PlayStation party. You know how it be. If you know, you know. You know?
Mhm.
So, like, I was playing with them, and I'm a pretty tall dude, and back then, like, my bed was a lot shorter than what it is now. You know, I hit that growth spurt, my legs start hanging off, and I'm playing, bro, and I'm talking to them, and I'm like sitting like this, you know, the TV's like this, and my legs are hanging off, and like I just feel something brush against my foot the first time, and then like, let me see your thumb, like pretend it's my big toe, right? I just feel like just un jalón, bro. Just straight up pull my shit. I got spooked, bro. I was like, whoop, yo. Put in my legs so quick, bro. Like, I was sitting there spooked as fuck, and I was like, no way, you know, like, why is this happening and shit?
How was the texture of what was grabbing you?
It felt like a hand, bro.
Just a regular
Like,
hand?
it felt like a hand.
Cold or warm?
Cold. Definitely cold, yeah. It felt like fingers, like if
Like
fingers.
clearly you.
Yeah,
felt
straight up
something.
fingers,
That's
bro. Like,
insane, dude.
like, you know how I told you it felt like something brush against it? It's almost like when somebody caresses you. You know what I mean? Like, psasira, just like that. It felt like a straight up finger, and then I felt the coldness, and it just yanked it. I got spooked, bro. So I'm sitting there, I'm like not talking anymore. My boys are like, man, what's going on? You know, I'm AFK as fuck, you know, I just sitting there spooked hard as hell, bro. Not talking, nothing, bro. Fighting back the tears.
Yeah.
And then like I just gained some huevos, bro, and I run out the room and I go up to my mom's room, and like my dad and my mom are sleeping and shit. And I got like my body's still out in the hallway, right? But my head's in the room, and I'm telling my mom like, hey, like someone just touched me. Me acaban de jalar el dedo. Me jalaron algo que no quise. You know? Like,
Me jaló.
me jalaron y no.
Hijo, es tu tío.
No fue prohibido, you know? But yeah, so as I'm telling her that, bro, like on the back of my shirt, so like keep in mind I'm still in the hallway and I'm talking to her, and on the back of my shirt, bro, I just feel like, you know, like a little kid tugs on your shirt, like hey, like trying to get your attention. I felt that, bro, just straight up tugged on the back of my shirt, bro. I put my whole body soaked fast in the room, bro. I was like, son, just pulled my shirt right now. I was like, I'm not going back out there. I slept on her floor, bro, in the room, their room on the floor, bro. Because I was so spooked. It was just terrible. But
Didn't even turn off the PlayStation.
nah, bro, that shit just stayed on and shit. And there's a crazy thing is, so I left that shit on, right? Thank you for reminding me. I left that shit on, and then like one of my friends, when I was telling them, because I was texting them, I don't know if they were fucking with me or not, but I wasn't gonna go check. But they told me that like at one point, like my thing or whatever was like moving by itself. Like if somebody was fucking with the joystick, just like the character on the screen was moving by itself.
Started playing.
Not like playing, but like, you know, like I was playing Far Cry 4 at the time. I still remember. Or Far Cry 3. No, Far Cry 3 was free game. Broke boy problems, you know?
Your homies are like, bro, that's the best I've ever seen you play.
They're like, bro, what the fuck? They're like,
No
why you so
way.
good? Nah, but they told me it was like my character would just like move, you know? And I had a brand new controller. Like, that shit should not be moving by itself.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's real, or they're fucking with me, but that's what they told me.
That's
After
crazy.
I told them that shit.
Damn.
And in my living room, bro, like, here's another fun fact about my crib. In my living room, on the wall, I don't know what it looks like, tape, but I don't know what it is. Like, for real, it's like some sort of like reflective material on the wall, but it says "Here I am." Yeah, and my dad's painted over, and you can still see it.
What the
He's
fuck?
painted over it like 3 times, and you can still see that
Hell
shit.
no.
Here
I'm gonna take a
I
picture.
am?
Yeah, it says "Here I am." I'm gonna take a picture.
Move.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
should.
that's some
I'm gonna take a
weird shit.
picture.
I'm for real not giving you a ride.
Hell nah.
No way.
That's
I would put a
crazy as
fucking-
fuck.
I'd put some kind of like painting.
Yeah, I was
or
about to
fucking,
say.
yeah, some kind of
I mean, but it's like how I told you, like
over it.
that shit doesn't scare me anymore. Like I feel
Really?
like nothing's really happened to me since I probably hit like I don't know, like 16, 17.
For real?
Nothing has happened to you
As soon as I
since
start getting other scary shit in my life, like women and drugs and shit, you know.
then? Yes, that's
Bye.
Fighting real
Esas sí son
demons.
cosas del diablo. You know? Esos sí son vicios. You know what I'm saying? But like,
no.
I feel like I got to an age where like I stopped giving that shit power, so it stopped scaring me as much, you know.
That's true.
But then it's also like my dad's a grown ass man, and he saw that fucking little boy in their living room. You know what I mean?
How recent was that?
Oh, that was years ago.
Oh,
That was
yeah.
back when they were spooking us. Maybe that's too why it stopped. I haven't talked to him about that shit. Or at least he hasn't told me nothing that makes me feel like it's still going on.
So since then, you haven't really experienced anything yourself?
Nothing. I'll hear like shit around the house, but I live in an old house too, you know, so it's like I'm not like, oh yeah, that's that. You know,
Yeah.
it could just be the house settling or whatever.
yeah, Wood Creek's on its own and shit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, now it's ever since like shit like that stopped happening to me where I would get touched or shit like that, like it doesn't bother me anymore.
Mhm.
But there's definitely like places I've been to, like houses where you could feel it. Like
Yeah.
you could straight up feel like there's
Yeah.
shit there, bro. Like there's another crib in Harvard. My older cousin, shout out Little O, he fucking stayed at some dude's house, bro. And he told me, he's like, hey, like I'm fucked up, like I'm gonna just stay here. And his friend's like, all right, you know, just know shit happens at this house, bro. And my cousin's like, The fuck does that mean? Bro, he told me in the middle of the night, bro, that something threw a book at him. Said, read, motherfucker. Just threw it at him and shit.
I would have been
Dumbass.
gone.
Yeah, educate yourself. But yeah, just I don't know. I just feel like that shit happens a lot because these towns are really old. And
That's true.
dude, like these towns had the KKK in them. Fucked
Yeah.
up shit happened in these
Yeah,
towns.
Yeah, that
that's
shit
like
happens
confirmed
everywhere, though.
shit.
I wouldn't be surprised there's bodies around. You know what I mean?
Well, remember I was
Probably
telling
is.
you how like a door down, they have like the part of the Underground Railroad in their basement.
Yeah.
Like this shit got to be happening there too, you know.
Wait,
Exactly,
Where
bro.
at?
Like my neighbor, pretty much.
Oh no way,
Yeah.
really?
And if they have it, I mean, it's got to run through a couple
Oh,
of the houses,
yeah.
you know.
That's crazy.
It's not just there.
That's why I
know.
ask you, bro. Like, you never seen no spooky shit out there, because motherfuckers who live out in the country, bro, they see the most shit. I
For
swear to
real.
God.
All right, chill, bro. I'm
Yeah.
home alone.
Yeah, right. He's gotta go home.
Yeah.
Oh, hell no, poor Rick, dude.
Like, my barber, his girlfriend. I've known his girlfriend since I was a kid. Her dad and my dad are like friends, you know. And I've known my barber for a long time too. Shout out Sam. Haven't been to you in a minute, bro, but I'm gonna come back, baby. Don't worry. But she just told me this, that at her house, I never knew this up until recently, like within the last year. And Sam has witnessed it too. They've both witnessed it. They witnessed this red truck pull into her driveway, and then when they pull up to the crib, it's not there. Like, it's like a ghost truck. And they did some research on the history, like on the history of the land and the house and whoever lived there before. And there's some old dude who used to drive a red pickup truck. And they've seen it on multiple occasions. They'll be driving, bro, on the road, and my man's got like a Charger, an RT, you know, car's got balls. So they'll be driving, and then like as they're coming up to the left turn, they see it in the distance. These headlights, bro, like the tail lights just pulling up to the crib, and then they'll see it turn into the driveway, and then he'll go like up a hill or under a hill or whatever where it gets out of view. He'll come up, haul ass to the house, and it's not there anymore. And they'll go and ask her mom, who's here? No, we know nadie. You know, what are you talking about? But I guess it's like she's told me that like multiple people in her family have seen that truck just pulling
That's
up.
crazy.
That's fucking wild.
Just pulling up, bro. And she says
Fuck
it's like
all
a
that.
distinct truck. Like you can straight up see it. Like it's not like foggy or anything. Like it's
Yeah.
just straight up. Like a straight
I've
up
heard
truck.
stories of that too, like just like ghost cars or whatever that
Yeah.
are always seen.
Or like ghost trains or
Yeah.
semis.
Or there's like certain roads that are haunted that you see like certain cars and shit.
Yeah.
There's like some popular ones around here too.
Cuba Road.
Yeah, the Cuba Road one.
Oh, I never heard that. What's
Cuba
that?
Road. I don't know how far it is from here, but it's pretty close. It's not
I
bad.
think it's like in Barrington or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Oh, damn, that's not far at all.
Yeah, it's creepy. I remember my cousin wanted to go when I was younger. And the story for that is that it was these kids on prom night, and they were in a Pontiac GTO drinking and driving and shit, and they were fucking just drag racing down this long ass road called Cuba Road. Basically, the kids in the GTO fucking crashed and all died.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So the story, the fucking legend is that if you go on that road and you're just driving, people have seen a black GTO just pull up next to them,
nice.
just pull up next to them and just fucking trying to race. And if you supposedly, if you like, when I was younger, my cousin would tell me the story. If you accept the race, you'll always die.
All word.
That's like that's what they told me when I was younger. But realistically, when do you hear people die on the road? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I was told this as a kid. But apparently, my cousin and a few of his friends all went in like their homeboy's minivan. They belonged to their mom. They went one night. They just saw some dumb shit. Like, let's just go see what we see. Apparently, they see a fucking black car just pull up, and they just stop and let the black car keep going. Like, they got scared right away.
Oh shit.
They're just like, yeah, fuck that.
I
Like,
would
they
have
was
been spooked too. I can't lie.
yeah, I don't know.
I wouldn't have stopped. I would have kept going. What
But-
do you mean?
No, because if you kept going, like, what if the fucking car would have thought it was a race or something? I don't know. Like,
All right, in a minute.
And then you die. You think
Yeah, but
like
if you stop and it stops, hell no.
you think like talking about that shit makes it more likely to appear? Like maybe your boys were like talking about it, like, oh, like
Like
I was
giving it
I
just-
powers.
espantan and shit, you know?
I was just thinking about this on my way earlier to pick up you. I was like, pick you up. I was like, damn. I was
Pick
like,
up Hugh.
I
Sorry.
wish. I was like, damn, all these things we're talking about, I was like, hopefully it doesn't fucking make things happen.
Happened, yeah.
Because it is scary. I mean,
Yeah.
no, I think I've had nights like all the time with different people where we've talked about this. We had a night one time at my house, like 4 a.m. We're like talking about shit, you know? Yeah, no, I wouldn't say. I do believe that in life, the energy you put out into the world comes right back to you. But things like this, I don't know. I don't feel like it, but also just in case. You never know.
Gotta knock on wood, yes sir.
What's one of the scariest things you guys have personally experienced? The rest of y'all here. Like it's actually happened to you.
I ain't got much.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah, me neither. Thankfully,
Fuck.
Yeah, for real.
I don't
I
really.
have the
like-
same stories in Mexico, and that's it.
Yeah.
You're like my cousin Carlos, bro. Like he says the same shit. He's like, a mí nunca me han espantado. He's like, porque a mí me matan de un infarto, bro. They'll
Facts.
scare
I don't
him.
even know what to do. Right, pass out.
Yeah.
For real.
Like recently, like 3 weeks ago,
Oh shit. Hold
I
up.
had like some guests at my house, and one of them I didn't even know until like they left, but one of them claimed like they can see like spirits and shit.
As soon as they
And-
say that, they're gone.
And nah, bro,
God.
I didn't even
Both
know
of
until like my mom told me last night, and I was shook because I'm like, damn, that was a nice ass lady. Like I didn't think she was like
Yeah.
into that. And I guess they told my mom that there was like a spirit in my room, and that when she walked in on them, they were on their knees praying in my room.
What the fuck?
Wait,
And-
the
Hell no.
lady walked in on the spirits praying?
Your mom
No,
walked
no,
in.
they
Or
walked
your
in
mom
on
walked
the-
in on her?
On the lady, yeah.
Praying
Yeah,
for your
yeah.
soul and shit.
No, like I guess there was something in my room, and my mom would like ask me, she's like, "You never get nightmares in there?" And I'm like, "Nah." And she's like, "Well, I slept in your room last night because I didn't go home that night."
Uh,
And she's like, "And this is the second time it happens to me. I've had the same nightmare with the like same demon."
Oh,
And I was like, "What are you talking about?" Because at first when I walked in, she's like, "Get rid of that thing in your room." I was like, "What thing in my room?" Like she was literally telling me like if I knew what she was talking about already. I'm like, "¿De qué estás hablando?" And I guess she claims every time she sleeps on my room that like she doesn't have a what's that thing called? The dream
Like
Wait, dream catcher?
sleep paralysis.
sleep paralysis.
Oh.
That's not sleep paralysis because she could wake up and move, but she has the same nightmare every time. Like it's like an animal, like an all black animal without a head, like basically trying to kill her.
Oh shit.
And when the guest came over, one of them slept in my room. My cousin, he's old too. He's like 26 or something. He said the same thing. He will.
That's old?
I was like, damn.
All that. Hey, we about to get there.
Hey, my bad.
Kev, I don't know if you knew this, but next year I turn 26.
Old ass motherfucker.
Hey, you might be seeing the ghost too then.
You might be at the end of your
basically-
life.
He woke up in the morning and he came out like pissed, like mad at me. He's like, "I'm never sleeping in that room again." And I'm like, "What do you like?" They're literally telling me like if I knew.
Like if it's your fault and shit.
Yeah.
Like, bro, come on.
He came out pissed in the morning. He walks out with his charger, deodorant, and he's like, "I'm not sleeping there no more." And he literally slept on the couch instead of sleeping in my room
What the fuck?
because they claim something's in there. And not gonna lie, like I went to go watch Smile the other day, and it was like 3 a.m. and I felt like I heard something moving, and I thought it was like on my window. I'm like, "Fuck, I'm gonna check. Like maybe like a bush is hidden or something." I open it, and the noise gets louder, and then I realize it's on my desk, and it literally sounds like someone's moving cologne, like the little glass hitting the wood. And I was like,
Ooh.
"What the fuck?"
And you never feel anything like different in your room? Like you have like a heavy
So
weight on
I,
your shoulder.
I always feel like someone's staring at me, but I've lived there for so long that I already got used to it. Because even my little sister wants my room, but my mom literally knows that something's wrong with it because she wants to get it blessed before my sister takes it.
Yeah, you should get it blessed.
Yeah,
for sure, in
definitely.
general.
If that's
Um,
multiple like
because-
witnesses already. Like,
Yeah.
oh, what you
Yeah.
need to get possessed
Yeah,
or something?
you not tweaking.
Yeah. Oh god.
Because I guess my room has like the closet's like mirrors, and supposedly that's really
Oh,
bad.
yeah.
Because the spirits can watch you, and I always feel like I'm getting watched, and I always look at the mirror and I see like figures, like black figures, but then it'll be like my chair or like something like that, and it always creeps me the fuck out. But like
So you're supposed to cover those
I already got used to it.
That's why I refuse to
All
have
right, bro.
mirrors in
in the room, right?
and I have one in a room, but I refuse to have a mirror that'll point at me while I'm sleeping
Yeah, me
or
too.
in my like main direction of the
So you're supposed to have those covers because they're like portals or some shit. That's like how people, or they can walk through them and shit or stare at you. or
And-
whatever.
Oh,
I don't
You
know
got
if,
fat
like-
ass mirror in your room or what?
oh, I can see myself in my bed and shit.
Oh
I
really?
don't know. That creeps me out. When I was
I got the-
younger,
I got the
Excuse me
closet
too.
mirrors too.
Yeah, and I heard
Like, right
like
next to
little
my
kids
bed.
can see spirits.
yeah, and dogs.
And
animals.
my nephew, he's like not even 2. He loves being in my room. And the first thing he goes to do is goes to the closet mirrors and like hits it really hard.
Wait, what was the thing that your mom wanted you to get rid of?
I was gonna ask that as
Bro.
well.
Tweaking.
According to her and my aunt, like 2 years ago, like when the Astrofest thing happened, the tragedy, she literally told me like 2 weeks before like the whole like haunting thing happened, that like I have like a vinyl of the Travis Scott like Astroworld thing, and she told me that like the whole head thing means that you're basically walking into hell.
Wait, your aunt that knows nothing about hip hop or Travis Scott said this?
Yeah.
That is wild.
And she lives nowhere around here, bro. And she told me that And like 2 weeks later, the whole like tragedy happened.
That's wild because I seen people on
And-
Twitter say that too.
Yeah, weren't they saying that it was like a whole
Yeah.
conspiracy
And-
and shit?
My mom was telling me to get rid of that. I find it weird that I've lived in 3 like different haunted houses. Like they all have their own story. But today, like we were in the kitchen, like my family, like my dad, my mom, my sister, and my brother. And my dad like randomly asked me, he's like, "¿A poco te han espantado?" I'm like, "Yeah." And Charlie's like, "Nah, like they've never like nothing's ever happened to me." And I just found it so weird because we used to share a room and like I used to like see stuff. And stuff would happen to me. When I was a little kid, we grew up in this greenhouse on Birch Road. So if you live in a greenhouse on Birch Road, get out of there.
Oh no. Poor
me-
folks.
Me and Charlie would sleep on bunk beds. He would sleep on top. Oh no, I would sleep on top and he would sleep on the bottom because he was a little bigger. And every morning I would wake up under his bed. Like, hold up, dude. Let me see your hand. Go like this. Other way. Like go. No, kind of this other way. Put it down. Damn, I can't move that far. I kind of fucked that up.
Wow.
So like I would literally wake up
Under
Like-
the bed,
like
under
under
on
the
the
bed.
floor, right?
on the floor, but the bed's like that, and I would be sticking out like that, like a backwards cross.
Oh, what
hell
the
no.
fuck?
And I was little,
Oh, I
and
just got
th-
chills.
there's no way like I was sleepwalking because I would have literally ate shit off the bed.
Because you said it was bunks.
Yeah,
right?
it was bunk bed, and I was on the top bed. And I remember I told my mom, and literally after like I told her that, me and Charlie got different rooms. Like they moved him to the basement because he claimed that he couldn't like nothing like affected him, and they let me stay there alone. And instead of like having like a bed frame, basically my like colchones were on the ground.
Oh, okay.
Like, so you couldn't go under.
Yeah, so that
I-
couldn't happen anymore.
yeah, it couldn't happen anymore.
That's crazy.
That's fucked up.
But-
Imagine if back then you would have put like a security camera or
Dude.
some kind of like monitoring system to see what it was. Because if you literally didn't get down yourself and you don't remember like moving at all, what if like on video you would have like literally like levitated and been like brought down?
like something picked them up.
Yeah,
and
like-
placed them.
That's
And
insane.
That's fucked up.
at that house,
Yeah.
it was like when I was really little, and I had like a bunch of family friends come from Mexico, and like they would all stay at the house, bro. Like the house was packed with like 15 people always.
Mhm.
That's what
And
bitch.
everyone that stayed in the basement claimed it was super creepy. Like I don't know why they'd always blame me. They'd blame me for running up and down the stairs, laughing like hysterically like a little girl. Cause since so many people slept in the basement, my dad literally built a room under the stairs. So my cousin that slept there, the one who had the same nightmare in my room, would always yell at me, claiming like, "Why what the hell are you doing late at night, running up and down the stairs?"
Mhm.
Damn.
And I always told him like, "Nah, it wasn't me." They never believed me until this one guy came from Mexico. First night there, his name was, they call him, I don't know his real name, but they call him Chicharo. So maybe y'all know Chicharo. Ask him about this.
What, from LV?
I'm not talking to that guy.
Maybe LV or Chiltepec. I know it was one of those 2 towns. But basically, he never wanted to tell us what he saw exactly, but he said like the devil was basically trying to take him with him, like carry him,
Oh, shit.
and that he saw stuff. Literally, like midway through the night, he got up and dipped, bro. And keep in mind, bro, he was fresh from Mexico, had nowhere else to go.
Sounds like the lady I
Yeah,
worked with.
whatever,
Yeah, bro. Like he literally said, "Fuck this, fuck that," and dipped. And it was wild because my uncle stayed there for like at least 3-4 years. Nothing ever happened to him. Charlie ended up moving to the basement. Nothing ever happened to him. But I would have friends over, like Eder, and we would go to the basement and play. And he'd always tell me, like, "Bro, it's creepy down here."
I was just more sensitive to it. Maybe your
Yeah.
brother just wasn't sensitive to it like that.
I
I
feel
know
like,
there's people that are like that.
yeah, because I feel like Eder in general is a person that's like sensitive to energy itself, you know, and he probably just sense like a really bad fucking vibe going on.
Yeah, that place was creepy as fuck.
Yeah, that's fucking scary.
Everyone that would go into my house, like Vio, like all my friends that would come over
Yeah.
to play when we were little, they never wanted to go to the basement. They're like, "Nah, like let's stay up here."
Who's the one that got dragged out of the window?
Whoa.
My uncle, my youngest uncle, he was probably like 16, 17 from Mexico,
Mm-hmm.
and I had like 2 other uncles sleeping in the basement, and they started hearing ruckus in his room, and like obviously they knew something was up because they experienced it too.
Yeah.
And when they went into his room, they like my uncle was like basically trying to get like basically levitating, getting dragged out, trying to get dragged out through a window well.
Oh shit. That's movie shit right
Oh,
there.
man.
That's crazy.
That just gave me
They
chills.
better, some producers got to set up some cameras over
Oh
there.
God, man. We making it
Yeah.
out like that.
It would really fuck with my cousin though, the one who would always blame me, to the point where he got a truck and he would get like paper license plates, like the temporary ones, and someone would always rip them off and he would never find them. Unless someone was literally like fucking with him like out on the street, but they would always rip off his license plate.
That is one thing that would happen to me a lot at my house. Shit would just vanish.
Yeah.
Vanish, bro. And like and I know I wouldn't misplace it, because it'd be like my headphones, they would vanish, bro. Or like something, just a notebook or whatever, something I needed, man, like a shoe, just one shoe would vanish and it would reappear, bro, like days later in the same spot that I left it.
It's the fucking duendes in your walls.
That's
bro.
what I'm saying, bro. It's because I saw that fucking duende, so me traviesos putos.
Jay,
That's what I'm
you
saying.
know what a duende is?
No, it is
A troll.
It's a gnome.
A gnome.
No.
Supposedly,
Gnome
Yeah, I seen one
inside your wall.
outside my house when I was
No, they
12.
just say they live.
Oh.
Like,
They
within
say
your
they live
house.
in the walls of your crib.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
nah.
Yeah.
When
They
I
teach
went to LV recently, that ass the taxi that was taking my uncle, who was the taxi over there, was taking me into town, and he stopped at this house like entering LV, and he's like, drive here, like go around here at night. Y ves duendes.
Dude, I heard the same shit when I went.
It's so wild to me that that's like huge in Mexico.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say I didn't even think that was a thing out there. That's
Yeah.
It's
crazy.
from all over the world. They're just called different things.
Really?
Some call them gnomes, duendes, trolls would probably be another one.
Yeah.
So,
It just depends on where you're from.
so what does it look like? A gnome or
Whoa.
like a troll?
Tell your
So-
story.
Like Hasbula.
Pretty
No
much.
shot.
But nah, so like what I think is, because I've talked to multiple people who've seen them and they all describe them differently. I think what it looks like depends on the region of the plant that you live on.
Uh-huh.
Because the one that I saw, it looked like a man, like a grown man, and it had like a pointy nose, pointy ears, somewhat pointy nose.
Oh, so you mean like a for real being?
Yeah, I
I
saw.
was in the understanding of a ceramic thing. That's crazy.
No.
No,
what
I
the
saw.
fuck?
Alright, I'll just tell the whole story.
Yeah.
So it was my 12th birthday, bro, and like what they say about duendes is que son bien traviesos, que les gusta jugar con los niños, no?
Uh-huh.
So like, I was playing with all my friends, bro. Like a bunch of my friends that came to my birthday party, my cousins and shit, and like a bunch of boys from the block, and we're playing Ghosts in the Graveyard. We're playing 3 streets, so like the whole neighborhood type shit. And I'm hiding, bro, and like the whole game. At this point, my cousin Marcos was it. So like whenever we would see each other, like me would see like a different player that wasn't him. We'd share information, you know, blah, oh, I haven't seen him, or I saw him over here, blah blah blah, whatever. I was hiding right behind my neighbor's backyard, like right behind the garage. And at that point, my other neighbor used to be my friend Jesse. He used to live back there. He used to have a shed. He doesn't live there anymore, but he used to have a shed. The shed's not there anymore either. But at that point, I was hiding behind the garage in the darkness, right? Shadow. It was late, and the shed over there was in darkness too. And the only thing that was like lit was like the beam of moonlight separating me and that side of the yard, you know. So it was like the only light was right there. So I see like this little figure, bro, just chilling right next to the shed, and I'm thinking it's one of my cousins, you know, a little shorty or something. And I'm trying to get their attention, like, hey, like, ven pa acá, you know, ven pa acá, like, trying to get them to come over to me and shit. And it stands up, bro, and it's like 3 feet tall, bro, not even 3 feet tall, and it's like walking towards me. And it like gets to the edge of the moonlight, and I see it. That's when I see it, bro. It was wearing a little hat. It was wearing, like, when I mean like a little hat, bro, like not like a little cone hat, like the ones you see, you know, like folktale and
Your
shit.
little beanie type thing.
Yeah, no, it was wearing like a hat, like a dude that would wear back in like the 20s, like a paperboy hat,
Oh.
like those little hats,
With the
yeah,
little-
yeah.
with the little
front.
brim right in the front,
Yeah,
bro. It
yeah.
was wearing a hat like that. It had like a little thing on top, and then it had somewhat pointy ears and pointy. It looked like a man, bro, but it was off.
Small.
Yeah, but it wasn't a man, you know. It
Yeah.
had a beard and it had a white shirt, suspenders, bro, and little brown leather shoes. I remember it so clearly, bro. And when I saw it, bro, I got spooked and I ran to my house and I told my dad, I'm like, bro, like I just seen, was vi alguien ahí atrás? And he's like, ¿cómo que viste a alguien? You know, and I was like, pues vi a un señor, pero estaba bien chiquito, like, I didn't know what it was, you know. And he got spooked. He's like, ven por todos tus amigos y ya mandas para la casa. And then the next days when he told me that shit, he's like, oh, es que tú viste un duende and this and that. And I was just like, oh, shit. And he's all like, if you ever see that again, he's like, don't follow it. He's like, it's going to try and lure you away and shit. He's like, but don't follow it. And this brings me to my other point. You know, I told you, like, it depends on the region. It's my cousin, bro, my older cousin. He's like, ever since I told my story, well, like, before that, but, like, he told me that he talked to this girl in LV, bro, and her little brother would play with 2 of them. That they would always like lure him out the crib and up into El Monte, bro, like far, and that the girl saw the duendes one time, bro, just luring him. Like, she was in her room with her little brother, bro. Her little brother probably like 3 years old, like a kid, you know, like 4, probably could walk, you know, whatever. And I don't know what age they start walking, whatever. But yeah, he could walk, so around that age. And she left him in the room, bro, walked to the kitchen, and out the kitchen window, she saw the kid literally following these 2 things, bro. But he told me that she described them as dressed like mariachi. That they were wearing like a, así como ropa de mariachi and shit, and that she chased after him, bro, and they say that they're fast as fuck and they're really heavy. That's what they say, that they're really fast and they're really heavy, bro, that you can't pick one up. If you try to pick one up, it's going to bite you or some shit. And they're really heavy. So she said that, like, she literally saw him, bro, like, in the room not even a minute before. And now he's already in the yard, already walking up into the woods and shit, to the monte. And that she ran out the crib, bro, and chased after him. And she was running like 10, 20 minutes straight, bro, and couldn't find him. And he was, like, right there, you know. And so she came into this opening, and he was just sitting there by himself playing with them. And that when they saw her, they booked it into the woods. And they just left him there and shit. And she took him back. And it was funny because my same cousin told me that he wants to go duende hunting. I'm like, bro, you're fucking crazy. Like,
I don't know.
why'd you want to see
was
this?
with them?
That shit.
Nah, the one that was talking to that girl.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the one that told me that story about that girl.
Sounds
And
sick.
he went to LV, bro, last year, and he took his cuatromoto up into El Monte, bro, and he took a blanket, he took beer, he took weed, he took cocaine, he took toys, he took a bunch of shit that they like, you know. And he said he rode his ATV up into El Monte deep, like maybe an hour up there, whatever. And just like started chilling, bro, and set everything down. He says it started getting dark, and when it started getting dark, bro, que escuchaba all around him just running, bro, like his shit running around him. He said he got spooked, got back on his shit, and booked it back to town. He's like, fuck that,
Hell no.
dude. But that's fucked up.
I forget who's told me, but I've heard stories of them in Mexico where like kind of luring kids, and the kids just disappearing and shit, and everything's
Yeah, bro. My mom told me too that when she was growing up, because she's from LV, bro, but she went to school in El DF and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
So like out there, she would tell me she would go to school and she'd be walking home, and on one of the streets, there would always be like a group of them waiting for her to ask her for money and shit and like candy. Yeah, and then she'd be like, no, like she would tell them no at first. Y que se le ponían bravos, like she said that they would turn ugly, that their teeth would get sharp and their nails would get really long, and they would try and hit her and bite her, and she would run from them. And she said that once they started turning bogus on her, that like she would just fucking run past them. She wouldn't even like stop to talk to them, and would just se pelaba, you know, just booking and shit. Yeah.
I think Giovanni's kind of mind fucked because the first time I heard about these stories, I was like, this is like sci-fi shit, man. Like, this is
First thing that pops in my mind is Goosebumps, like
Yeah.
the fucking episodes and shit. And honestly,
Yeah.
I believe you. Like,
Well, all that shit has a little bit of truth to it.
Yeah.
bro.
yeah, and that's what some like they got that somewhere.
Yeah,
you know,
folktale.
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
crazy.
There's a reason these stories, bro, have lasted the millennia. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
That's
like
true,
since
yeah.
ancient times. Because this shit's probably been around longer than we have. You know,
Yeah.
people and shit. Like
Facts.
these type of spirits and energy and shit like that.
That's insane,
Yeah.
dude.
My
Nuts.
my cousin who's from Isclahuaca, he just got here. He told me a story one time about how, well, actually he told me 2 separate stories. So the one he told me was that he was drinking with like a bunch of his boys, bro. And they were just chilling, and one of his boys was like, "Oh, voy al baño, ahorita vengo," you know. But they knew he wasn't gonna come back. The other motherfucker would go home and go to bed, right? So he got in his car, bro, and he drove away. And he said that like not even like they saw the car, you know, get far, like maybe a mile, and not even like 10 minutes, bro. Like the dude came back sprinting out the darkness, bro. The car was still over there. They could see the taillights and shit from far, but the dude, his friend that was driving the whip, ran all the way back to them, like scared, bro, nasty style, que like, pues así bien espantado, bien culero, you know? And they were like, what the fuck, what happened, you know, ¿qué te pasó? And he's like, no mames, güey, me salieron un puto chingo de duendes, blah, 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 and that. He said he was driving, and he hit the edge of town, because the dude didn't live in town. So he was about to, he hit the edge of town, and he said when he hit the edge of town, he said like a group of them, like 20 of them, bro, got out, surrounded his car, and started beating the fuck out of his car, like kicking it hard as fuck, jumping on the hood, bro, así espantándolo, you know, fucking with him. He said he got out the car and ran all the way back, and then my cousin, you know, all the rest of them were just like, bro, you're drunk, you know, like, whatever, you know. And the guy's like, si quiere acompáñame, culeros, like, you know, me espantaron bien feo. And that they're like, all right, we'll go with you. And they started walking back towards the whip, bro. And he said the closer that they got, they could hear it. they could hear somebody. He said it sounded like somebody taking a baseball bat and beating the fuck out of a car, bro. It just got louder and louder the closer he got. Well, the group of them, it was like 5 of them, and that it just get louder and louder, bro. And that they pulled up to the whip, and the whip was perfectly fine,
That's crazy.
just perfectly fine.
What?
Jeez.
Yeah, the door was just open from where the dude fucking booked it, but the whip was fine. But he says so clearly, bro. He's like, it sounded like they were breaking glass or bending the fuck. You know how metal sounds when you hit it hard as fuck?
Yeah.
Like that. He said just, así bien culero. It's just,
That is wild.
That's crazy.
Have you ever heard of like what their intentions are and shit?
But
Like,
just
when
that
they
they-
lure people and stuff?
just kids, bro, that they
Yeah.
like, they fuck with them and shit.
But like when they go disappearing, is it like
Yeah,
Like-
I don't know.
I don't know what happens
Yeah.
to
I
them.
would say like
I-
kill them type
Do they
shit,
eat 'em?
or like
I don't
portal type
I don't
shit,
know.
like different worlds.
Because they do say, bro, that like you're supposed to keep so like they say that duendes like dirty kids who are unkempt, like you know, they don't take care of them and shit. So like they'll say that's why you got clip your kids' toenails, bro, porque the duende will go and clip it, bro. Yeah, on accident they'll take a toe. You know what I'm saying? That's what they say, that shit.
That's wild.
That's crazy.
Yeah, they also say that like duendes are just the souls of like unbaptized children and shit like that and all that shit.
That's
Fuck.
maybe they go to children because they could see him. Because
true. Because I was a kid when I saw it. I was 12 years old.
my little
still a
sister used to have like an invisible friend in one of like a haunted house we lived in. Like
That
she
was a
would,
demon, boy.
she would literally like go up to the wall and start talking to them. And my mom knew, bro. My mom knew, and she'd always like storm in and be like, "Who are you talking to?" And she'd say, "No one." Like basically not wanting to say. And that was probably the creepiest house I lived in, because it was like a 2-flat. If you don't know what that is, like you walk into the house and you could either go to the basement or up the stairs to like the like living room, basically.
Yeah.
Like a ranch style home, no?
Yeah.
My old house was like that. Yeah.
But basically, like from the upstairs, you can basically see the door that goes downstairs.
Mhm.
And that door, like at first, like my parents thought like it was a wind problem. Like it would open and close by itself, but like you'd lock it and it's still open and close.
Oh.
So one day, like just on like some random shit, my mom told the door like "Ábrete," and it opened.
Wow, what the fuck?
And then she told it to close, and it closed. And you could literally tell it that, and it would do it on command. And my uncle went over one day, and he didn't believe. He wasn't a believer. So he went to the door, and he's like, "Ábrete." And it opened. And he still didn't believe. Like, nah, it's like, fue el viento. So he's like, "Ciérrate." And I guess whatever it was got pissed that he didn't believe, and it slammed the fucking door hard. And he deadass got so spooked he dipped, but he didn't want to go out through the front door because like he'd walk past that door. So he went out through the backyard, like he went through the porch and dipped.
Oh, hell.
But that house, it was like when I had just came back from Florida, and my dad owned a restaurant in Florida, so we came back kind of chunky, you know. And they had a running machine down in the basement, and there was a room in the basement that no one stayed in, and there was like a running machine in there. And my mom would always like be on my ass, like, "Why the fuck do you not want to run?" I'm like, "Nah, it's like creepy down there." Like, I felt like someone's watching me. And she would never believe me until like the whole door thing started happening. But I just found it weird because my little sister would deadass, like she was young and she would talk to like a friend, an invisible friend, like straight just talking to the wall and like look all goofy.
Damn. I feel like I haven't had like many scary stuff happen to me, but one of like the creepiest times, and maybe it could have been this drunk dude, but I don't know. It didn't. It seemed kind of like someone else. Remember that one night, Jay? We went to Six Flags with Jenny's family. We got back, and it was probably like 9, 10, and it was in the summertime. We were walking home.
Oh yeah.
We were-
We just popped some tags at the Gurney Mall.
we were walking from Jenny's house, which is like up the hill, and then you kind of like to go back to my old house was like taking a corner and then going down this hill and then taking another corner, and then that was where my house was. We were walking home with fucking like Nike bags. Like Johnny said, we were popping tags, and we were walking, and all of a sudden, like this house that we are pretty familiar with, and I'd never seen this guy live. Like still to this day, the same family, same dude lives there, and I've never seen this dude in my life.
I was literally gonna ask, did you recognize that guy as
No,
being the
I've
guy?
never
who was
seen
there?
that,
Me
no.
either. Yeah.
So we're fucking like walking down. Me and Johnny are like walking down the hill, like just talking, whatever. We have our flashlights on, right? Yeah, on our
I
phones.
think so, and I don't even understand how we didn't see this guy. Like we're walking down, like it's pretty much all downhill. We're walking downhill. I don't know where my guy fucking pulls up from, but all of a sudden there's a guy to our right, literally probably where Rick's standing from me. He's like, like fucking looking at us and like
he had horror in his eyes. He's
like if some shit just happened to him.
like fucking like walking out of a driveway, and all of a sudden he was like right in front of us. Like just like me and Giovanni are just like fucking. Oh my god, chills. Me and Giovanni are just fucking terrified, and we start fucking booking it.
I
Well,
would too.
first we're talking. This happens, and I almost had like a late reaction or something. I don't know. Jason is gone, and I'm like, I start running too. 'Cause I was like, what the fuck?
I'm fat, but when I need to run, I'm fucking fast.
Oh, yeah.
I was out of that bitch. I was
I
like,
think I would have swung before I ran.
I literally saw him go, and I was like, boom.
I was like,
And I felt bad because I didn't notice that. All of a sudden Giovanni was just running behind me.
Nah, you did that on purpose.
Survival of the fittest. baby.
bro, I was like, damn, I guess it's like that.
I can't even go back into that moment and think of my intention. Like, was it to outrun Jay or no? It was literally just like, I think back and all I remember was fucking seeing this guy look like terrifying, like, and then all of a sudden I just started running.
I
Like,
mean, honestly, I don't blame you. That was
Yeah.
the quickest thing for us to do. I just didn't run.
So there's no like you have no recollection of like what he was saying or anything. He didn't.
No,
it was
I don't-
literally just that. Like,
I don't think there was any communication.
Yeah.
But like, not to not believe you guys or anything.
Yeah.
But like, do you ever think situations like that is kind of like in your head? Not in your head, but like, what if something fucked up happened to him and he like actually needed help?
100%. So it could be that maybe he was overdosing. Maybe he was drunk as fuck. He was even like hallucinating himself. Maybe he was I don't know, drunk as fuck or drugged up, and he
Or,
saw
no,
two
or I'm
guys
saying he actually like
needed help.
yeah no
Yeah.
not like that though. I mean like I don't know
bad.
what if somebody just fucking killed somebody in his house or something and he,
Yeah, something traumatic
yeah
just
like something
happened.
traumatic
That's true.
or got into an accident and like was trying to get help and you
That's
guys just
true.
What I
yeah I'm
mean-
like
We
fuck
just
that,
left
we
his
gone,
ass.
Yeah.
you know.
No, I've thought about that stuff, but I also what gets to me that's weird is that guy doesn't live there, so it just kind of
that's
like
true.
I was like, what the fuck? What was that? You know? But I don't know.
And just with
But
that approach, I wasn't gonna wait around to figure that out. You know? Like,
Yeah.
not a single intention of my soul was to say, "Sir, is everything all right?"
yeah, I was like, nah, bro.
No, sir, not me. But I fucking literally did not stop running home, and Johnny was right behind me at one point. Finally, we fucking get home. Our entire family is like at the house, like cousins and shit. And we both open the door like
Dude, literally.
for like 3 minutes. Like, ¿Qué pasó? ¿Qué pasó? We're like fucking like reenacting it. That shit was so
But
terrifying.
your family didn't go out to like peep what's up or anything?
Nah, I was in low key. They didn't even make a big fuss about it. I was
They
like,
didn't give a fuck.
I was like, y'all just hear what the fuck we just said?
yeah, I
like,
was
what
gonna
the-
say I remember like that too, where like no one was like,
Like they didn't peep out the door.
they were
or
just like
nothing?
they were kind of laughing like, oh,
Yeah,
you
straight.
silly kids.
They
And I
went
was-
right back to Loteria. I was like, all right.
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck?
You two were in Jason's room crying.
Oh my god, no.
Traumatized this shit.
That was terrifying. That's probably one of the only things I've experienced like myself
Well,
personally.
I thought you were gonna say that you guys dropped me off, and then on the way back you saw some shit or something.
Damn, what the fuck? Anytime I've had something personal, like I guess some personal experience has been with Jay. Actually, yeah.
That's crazy.
Oh yeah.
We dropped off Rick one night. I don't know how long this ago, maybe 5 years ago, 4 years ago. We dropped him off, and we're coming back, and we're at that 4-way stop where you can go to Hebron or Harvard. We take a left, and we come towards Woodstock. We're passing that one church, like kind of entering Woodstock, and we're just driving. I'm driving. Giovanni's next to me, and this fucking dude just comes into my fucking lane like this, like waving his fucking hands, like his. Do you remember what his face looked like? He just looked like.
Nah, like
Yeah.
honestly, it happened so fast. Like I have no idea what he looked like or nothing.
But it was just some dude fucking just we're going like aggressive as fuck towards the car, and I just like fucking swerve and get back in my fucking lane. And we're both like, what the fuck was that? I remember looking back and I was.
It was a real person?
Yeah,
100%.
he was on the left side. No,
He's the
He-
left side,
Yeah,
yeah.
like he started like almost like trying to run into the car.
Uh huh.
Like
Yeah.
Oh, what the
Like
fuck?
he
could
wasn't.
be, could
he
be
was,
same thing. You
like,
know,
he wasn't standing there going like this.
That's what I'm saying. That kind of confuses me. Where it's like, what if he generally?
Yeah, maybe we're just
Yeah.
2 for 2 for not helping him.
Yeah, for real.
Y'all pieces of
Scumbag.
shit, bro.
But then again, like
Man, fuck
I'm
him.
pretty sure you guys dropped me off. It was like fucking 3 a.m.
Yeah, it was
It was
dummy
late.
late.
It was
yeah.
late.
Yeah.
Wait, so when he ran
Those
out
are
the
demon
car-
hours.
Yeah, it was witching hour. 3 a.m. is witching hour, bro, for sure.
But we got back to my house and I called the sheriff station. I was like, yo, I just saw this shit on this road. He's like someone just called in about that too.
oh, okay.
So I don't know.
Maybe something happened to dude then.
Maybe, but
Because when he ran at your car, it's like he was trying to get you to stop or
no,
that's
it
like
was
trying to run into your
literally
car.
approaching the car.
Yeah, it was like, and we were going so fast to where he
Yeah.
was coming like literally like we might hit him if
Oh,
we
Don't incriminate. I wasn't going that fast.
No, no,
Is that we were
yeah, we were
speeding?
going
but,
that fast.
but that
but
road's
it's
like 45, 50.
Yeah, it's like at that speed, you know.
And at night, there's not really much light.
No.
Yeah.
Like church sign and shit.
No, another experience I've had is where I dropped off a friend. I dropped off Steph. I lived in my old house, and I was driving on 47, and I'm like just fucking doing my thing. It's probably like 2 something in the morning. I'm driving, and all of a sudden, like right in front of my fucking right bumper, like walking along the side of the road, is some dude with his hands in his jacket pockets, wearing a leather jacket with a big fucking skull on the back of his jacket.
Oh, that was me.
I bet. So you're dressed.
I'm playing.
And I was just driving, all of a sudden, like in the last fucking second, I see that, like he's like right in front of me, and I fucking swerve to the left, and I was like, what the fuck? I turn back, I get back in my lane, and I'm keep looking back and shit, I'm like tweaked out, and I don't see anybody. I was like, what the fuck, dude? Like, I know I'm not tripping. I go home fucking terrified.
He was on the road or the sidewalk?
He was like, alongside of the road.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
It was late.
Late as fuck, like 2:30ish.
That's weird, bro. Because I've heard stories of like people walking on the side of the road in Harvard, and then when they look in the rearview mirror, they're gone. Especially by the railroad tracks by my house. I've heard like 3 people tell me that they seen there's a park back there by my house called Moose Field, and it's right next to the train, the railroads or whatever. And there's been people out there, like a few of my friends have told me that they've seen like a woman crossing las vías así caminando, and when they turn around, they go around her, no, and then when they turn around, she's gone. Then she's not there no more.
That's crazy.
That's happened to me a few times.
My cousin Alex. Sorry, I'm gonna lose my story if I don't say it right now.
Go ahead.
Okay, my bad. My cousin Alex is driving by the railroads here in Woodstock behind Taco Bell, where there's that tunnel. Have you ever seen it?
Yeah.
He was driving through there. He dropped off his girl like this years back, and it's like 2 a.m. Yeah, she dropped her off. He was going to Taco Bell, and he's going down that back. He was going down that fucking road, and he sees like a lady in all white walking like this. Like, you know how like what's it called? A buñuelo.
Oh, like all wrapped up and
yeah,
shit?
like that. Like in Mexico, like old ladies walk like that, and they hold it like right here, you know.
Yeah, and they're like,
she's like walking, and he's like coming on the right side, you know. He's like driving, and he's like starts slowing down and shit. Like, what the fuck is that? When she looks over, it's just like inside of this fucking thing, it's all just a white ghosty fucking like mist.
God.
No face, no figure, nothing. It's just white and ghosty and powdery, like smoke kind of just coming out. And he's just like, what the fuck? And he fucking just books it.
Yeah, that happened. You said right here in Woodstock, right?
Here in Woodstock. That summer was weird for him. He just had a lot of weird experiences. He was
same summer as the Bull Valley stuff.
Yeah, he's driving to Bull Valley. I forgot what time. It was like early as fuck, like 3-4 in the morning or some shit, going to work. Back when he was working at a factory for a little bit. And he's driving in Bull Valley, and all of a sudden, like, some fucking kid in a tricycle comes to fucking cut him off.
Oh, hell no.
And he's like, what the fuck? He swerves out of the way. He fucking stops. Like, stops. He gets the fuck out of the car. Like, yo, what the fuck? Get out. What are you thinking, kid? And then he's like, wait, fucking 4 in the morning, 3 in the morning. What the hell is a kid doing out here? He's like, I get back in my car and I fucking dash.
Bro, that reminds me.
That gave me the chills.
Yeah, me too.
That gave me the chills.
That reminds me of. I'm gonna let you finish, but let me just say real quick thought. So I used to work over there at Darien, and some dude there told me a story, bro, about when he lived in Mexico. Some old guy, and he was telling me a story one time he was coming back from a baile with his cuñado, and that they say that según in that road that he was coming back on, like según espantaba, no, and he said that like it started getting misty, like foggy, bro. And that they were driving through the fog like a good like 10, 15 minutes, just normal. And that they started hearing, bro, in the distance, así como like, you know how like bicycles, they got those bells that you can, yeah. That he would hear that, bro, in the distance, and he'd be like, what the fuck? But people out there ride bikes all the time, you know what I'm saying? Like, you see people out there walking 3, 4, 5 in the morning, you know, because people got to walk everywhere over there and shit. And this was back in the day, too. And he says that, like, as they're progressing through the mist, it just gets louder. Like, they can hear it, like, getting closer. Like, if somebody's, like, getting closer to them, but they're driving fast as fuck, you know, like, in a car. Like, somebody on a bike's not going to catch up to you.
That's true.
And he says that they get to this 4-way, like, an intersection where they're going to take a left, so they got to slow down. And when they slow down and take that left, that they hear the bring, bring, like, right next to him, bro, outside the window. And he says that it was a little kid, bro, on a bike with no head. With no head, bro, just, like, chilling right next to him. Just ringing the bell, bro, just next to him and shit. That's why they remind me of that shit.
This is where?
Wow, in Mexico.
Okay.
I don't know what part he's from, but he just told me that when he grew up over there. That this happened to him.
Damn.
I was like, damn, that's fucked up. Imagine seeing that shit.
So there was a time where I'd just be driving. It'd only be like at night where I'd be driving. I'd be going home, and I'd see a guy in like a blue jacket with like a sack. And
right.
I saw him like the first time, and I drove past him. I looked at him, and he was looking deep at me, and I kept going. I'm like, what the fuck? Because it was late, like 3 a.m. type beat. And I went, and he didn't walk away or anything, bro, because I'd look back, and he'd still be standing there. The second time I saw him, same thing. third time I saw him, I still remember, bro. Like I was like 2 stops away from my crib, and this time, like as I'm driving past him, I kind of see him like throw the sack down, like not down, but like move it from like, cause he was holding it like on his back almost, and he puts it down, and he starts like running towards my car, and I blow the stop so nasty. I'm like, oh hell nah. I look back, and he's like in the middle of the street, just standing there like watching. I didn't even go home, bro. I drove for like 20 minutes because I'm like, I do not want this guy to follow me home. And the next day, I went to go smoke with my boy Patch, and we were outside his house, and I told him everything that happened because I was low key like kind of like traumatized. And I kid you not, bro, like on some scary shit, he looks back. He's like, bro, look back, look back. And I look back, and there's a guy in a blue jacket walking up to my car.
This is a different day?
Yeah, the next day.
Oh, what the fuck?
And you're with somebody?
Yeah, we were literally smoking in my car. We were like mid-sesh. And I look back, and there's literally someone in a blue jacket walking by, bro. And he's like, dip, dip, dip. And I was just so like frozen, like scared. Like all I felt was like adrenaline. I couldn't move, bro. Next thing we know, the guy's walking next to me, like next to the car. He looks in and just keeps walking. And he was walking a dog, and we were so scared though, because I had just told him everything that happened, like nearly identical. And he was literally walking the dog. So it might have been like a random guy, but I asked Patch, have you ever seen this guy? He's like, nah, never. And
Poor guy, coincidentally, he just bought a blue jacket today.
Yeah.
He's about to get ran over.
He's walking his dog, minding his own business and shit.
These guys are in the car scheming and shit.
Hella shit was happening to me like around that time, like just random like weird shit. So I don't know if y'all ever heard about like an egg cleanse. When you do an egg cleanse.
Yeah, I've had one done on me.
My mom told me to do one, and like my mom, like she's always against that shit. Like she doesn't like witchcraft, like any like spiritual shit, because she said it's like it's all bad, like all goes back to you. But she was the one that brought up to me to do an egg cleanse. So I was like, all right, but I looked up how to do it like on Reddit, like I looked up different theories, but basically I started doing like rubbing the egg, like saying prayers, like manifesting good stuff for me. And as I'm like halfway done with my body, like I'm on my back, the egg just cracks. The egg cracks, and it was so weird because like it cracked, and I was literally rubbing my back, but none of like the egg yolk or anything got on my body. It all fell on the ground. And I kind of opened the door, and my mom comes to my door, and she's like, what was the verdict? Like, let me see like what happened with the egg. And I was like, it cracked. And she's like, what do you mean it cracked? And she's kind of like, you could tell by just looking at her face that she was like so fucking scared. And she's like, stay right here. Brings me another egg, and she's like, just continue where you left off. So I finished the egg cleanse, and I crack it in the cup like you're supposed to, and that shit just reeks. It smells terrible. So I leave it there sitting for like 30 minutes. I could see like hella bubbles, hella spikes, and like my mom said it was like a face, but I couldn't like recognize a face. But she claimed that she could like see a face in there. I'm like, all right, whatever. I threw out my mom made me like vanish everything. She made me throw out like the cup, the glass cup, the egg. She made me throw it away like far from the house. Like everything I used, she made me get rid of. That night, bro, I had like a crazy nightmare. I still remember what I dreamt of. It was like basically, I think it was the devil, bro, because it was like a black goat head with like some big ass horns, but he had like a male body, bro. But it was like all black, like body. And he was like super tall and jacked. And I remember having a nightmare, waking up that night. Like I woke up and I was literally I woke up and the first thing I did was go on my phone and text someone. I'm like, fuck, I just had a crazy nightmare. And as I'm texting that, I have like LEDs in my room, and they're behind my mini fridge connected to my PS4, and the lights literally turn.
Fire setup.
Huh?
Fire setup.
Thank you.
Mini fridge? That's what's up.
The lights turn on, and usually when I turn on my LED lights, they're like a light blue, like kind of like clear, like whitish blue. But when they turn on, it was red. And honestly, like I just I hit my dab pen. I'm like, I'm not dealing with this shit tonight. I covered myself with the cover, and I fell asleep. And I honestly, when I woke up, I'm like, oh fuck, it was just a dream. But I went on my phone and I'm replying to people. I open a snap and it's like, what was the nightmare about? And I was like, oh fuck, that shit was real. So then later that day, I go to play like my PS4, and my LED lights, they're fried. Like they literally fried, bro.
What the fuck?
It was the weirdest shit ever.
That is weird.
Is the camera still recording? Cool, thank you.
If it wasn't, that shit would have been another red flag.
Just
That-
check it every like 5 minutes, please.
That egg shit is weird though. It's real.
Yeah, because the next day, bro, like, believe it or not, like, I felt brand new. Like, I felt like I took like a rest week. Like, I slept the whole week because my body felt stronger. Like, I just felt so good, and it felt so. I don't know, bro. That shit is weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, when
Weird.
I lived, what?
There you go.
All right. When I lived in Mexico as a kid, we obviously moved back to where my dad was from, right? He built a crib out there. And one of his ex-girlfriends saw me and my mom, you know, and she got salty type shit, you know. So, like, me echó el ojo. You ever heard that shit? That
Yeah.
and you get sick. So I was a little kid, bro, and I got sick as fuck. And, like, I was puking and diarrhea and, like, sick, nasty style, bro. And I couldn't get better and shit until they did the egg cleanse on me, too. I was a baby. And when my mom told me, obviously I don't remember, but my mom told me when they cracked it open in the cup that the yolk was formed into like an eye. Like it looked like a
What
straight
the
up eyeball.
fuck?
Like pues que me echaron el ojo, you know? Like so it turned into an eye, the evil eye or whatever. And that the yolk looked nasty, bro. Like like rancid, like disgusting. Like nasty. And after that happened, like I started getting better. Like slowly but surely started getting better and shit.
Those stories in Mexico are wild. I was telling Rick the other day how my mom was telling me recently that this dude from the rancho, little village where my family's from, is claiming that he recently saw La Llorona.
No shit.
Yeah,
Recently?
You know
What the
you know the
fuck?
dude that lives in the little store by the casino, always on his quad. You probably don't remember, but
Is there like a river by where you guys
so.
live or something? Or like a body of water?
yeah. So right next to that house where the kid lives, if you take a left down some other little weird street, it's like it's like a little, very slow river, like.
Yo,
Like a
look,
creek.
there is a little river.
Yeah,
Like type
uh-huh,
creek thing.
yeah. And apparently, like he recently saw her, and then Rick shows me a video recently that someone in that same town where he's from sees like has a creepy ass video of La Llorona. It's wild as fuck.
Hey, we'll put it right here.
For real?
I'm done.
There it is. This video's creepy. I don't think
Video's
I'm
creepy because in the video, like, you hear like crying. It's like a white figure off the distance,
you hear dogs
and there's like
barking.
2 or 3 dogs like looking that direction, like going crazy, barking.
Yeah.
That's
It's
crazy.
nasty.
That's
Oh my
fucking-
god! I got the fucking chills. That video's creepy as
Yeah,
hell.
that's just creepy. Bro, what's up with water? It's like water attracts shit like that. You know what I mean? Because it's like,
You
I
think,
guess
like-
it's energy coming off of it, you know?
Mhm.
True. Do you think like, I don't know, maybe a lot of lives are lost like in water?
I would see so. Because,
Yeah.
I mean, my dad has told me stories about my grandpa. He just passed away. But he would tell me stories like over there from Iscalahuaca to up to Cruz de Piedra is a river that separates it and shit. And at the base of the hill or whatever. And my dad would tell me stories, bro, about like my grandpa would tell him that he would always see shit. And that one night, my dad vividly remembers this night. He's probably like 14. And my grandpa came back drunk as fuck, you know. My grandpa's on that shit back then. He was drunk. And he came back late as fuck, bro, drunk as fuck. And he woke my dad up because my dad could hear him arguing, bro. Like arguing just loud, bro. Like, yo no quiero tu pinche dinero. Así bien bravo, you know. Like, déjame en paz, blah, this and that. And my dad said he went out there, bro, and like met him and shit, like out the front door. And that when he went out there, that he said that behind my grandpa, that he saw on the ground a white cloth. Just like a random white cloth, like a blanket. Just chilling on the ground next to him, behind him. And then my grandpa's walking up the crib pissed, bro. Like pissed off. Like somebody pissed him off. Drunk as fuck, but somebody pissed him off. And my dad was just like, pues, ¿qué te pasó? And I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, oh, es que este güey me está ofreciendo su dinero por mi pinche sombrero y blah, and that, blah. Like, some dude was offering him cash, you know, for his sombrero, and that my grandpa didn't want to give it to him. And that the guy was like, come on, like, you know, begging him to, like, let me buy it off you. And my dad was just like, pues viene solo. Like, who you talking to, you know? And then my grandpa, like, turned around. He's like, pues este way, you know? And he turned around. There's nobody there except the white cloth, bro. And that my dad was just like, what the fuck? Like, what are you talking about? And that the next day, bro, that white cloth under it, that they picked it up and that the ground looked like disturbed. Like this, like if somebody buried something there. And that one of the ladies who lives up there in El Monte, bro, like, actually, I don't even think it was one of the ladies. I think it was one of my aunts, now that I'm remembering. I think it was one of my aunts. That they dug it up, bro, and they found, like, this little thing of money. And that...
Fuck that. Put that
Yeah,
shit back.
exactly. That's what that's what my dad said that my grandma told him, like, put that shit back. Like, you don't know whose that is. And that they were like, nah, like, we got to keep it and this and that. And that while they're like arguing over putting it back and shit, that my aunt like tripped with it nasty. And all that money, bro, just got lost in El Monte. Like, it all just flew into El Monte. And they never found it again, bro. And there was a shit ton of cash.
Jeez.
But my grandpa told my dad, bro, that when he was walking up the from the town up to his ranch and shit, that when he got to the river, that white cloth, bro, was chilling, but it was standing up, bro. Like if it was a man under a fucking blanket. See, like, you know how they draw like ghost cartoons, like that, bro.
Yeah.
He said it was just standing right there in front of him. And then my grandpa said that he just ignored him and would try to walk around him and shit. When he would try to walk around him, that thing would walk right in front of him to block him. And then my grandpa got butthurt and he's like, what the fuck? Like, leave me alone. He said that's when it started whispering to him that, like, it wanted to buy his head off of him and shit, you know, give him money. And my grandpa was like, nah, you know, it just kept trying to get around him, and that fool would just block him, bro, until he said that he faked going to the right and the thing moved to the right with him and he just turned around and jumped. He jumped over it, like a little part where you could jump the river. The little, like, where it turns into like a creek or whatever. And that shit, he said that it followed him all the way up until the crib, bro, just asking him, come on, or déjame comprarte tu sombrero, you know, yo que traigo lana, this and that, you know, like begging him, bro. And
Trying to complete the fit.
yeah, he said he was trying to, yeah, pretty much, you know, that he wanted it really bad, whatever this thing was. They really wanted my grandpa's hat. My grandpa didn't want to give it to him, and my dad's just like, that when he walked out the crib, that it was just the white cloth. It was just chilling next to him. Just on the ground. But it was like on the ground, you know, like a blanket, like a regular blanket. It wasn't standing up no more. But it's just weird.
It's a perfect transition to Rick's story, man.
Yeah, so like my grandma's house or Mexico too, like it's a very rural spot too. It's up in the Monte, like you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
And for the longest time, they've always talked about like one specific room being like really like active, I guess, with like paranormal shit. And they say it's because there's like treasure, or what were we calling it? Not treasure, fucking.
Just some kind of fortune.
Yeah, like fortune buried underneath. Yeah,
Treasure.
it's like buried underneath the room, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And my grandparents never had any interest in burying it up because they say like, pierdes un hijo if you like bury up the fortune or whatever.
Yeah.
So they always like ignored it. But like growing up, even when my mom was little, like they've had like paranormal shit happen to them. And one time my mom was telling me that like they were like deep as fuck, probably like 15 people in the crib, like all cousins from other places sleeping over. And nobody wanted to stay in that room. But my mom said her and one of her cousins were like, oh, you guys are all like chickens. Like, we'll stay in the room. Nothing happens. And then, like, they're just talking at night. You know, everybody's going to bed. Everybody says bye. They go to the room, like the one that's, like, haunted, supposedly, you know? And they're just chilling in bed, like, they're sharing a bed. And, like, all right, they say, like, good night to each other, and they're about to go to sleep. And they go to grab the cover to, like, cover themselves. And like they can't pull it, like it's like hard, you know.
Somebody's holding it back.
Like somebody's holding it back, and they can't pull it and shit. And they're looking at each other like all freaked out, like what the fuck. So they try ignoring it, and then they say that like at the end of the bed, they feel somebody like sit on their feet, pretty much. Like they feel the weight of something like at the end of the bed, you know.
No fucking way.
And like mom said that her and her cousin were so fucking scared, but like they just ignored it and started praying, and like
they didn't look.
They didn't look.
Just looking at each other.
They didn't look, get up, nothing. They just went to sleep. And then she said when they woke up in the morning and like they were both fine, that they were so fucking relieved. Like, but they said that they never told anybody about it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And then in the same room, I've also had. She told me that one of my uncles, when they were younger too, like they'd go to work with my grandpa and shit. And one morning, he's not ready in the morning, you know. My grandpa's all mad, like, hey, hijo, ya levántate. You know, we have to go to work and shit. And he's not responding. And they go, like, to the room, and it was locked and shit. And it smelled like petroleum or gas. I don't know.
Sulfur?
Crazy.
Yeah.
They say that when it smells like that, it's because it's something evil.
Well, because so it's very rural over there, and they didn't have, like, electricity. They had lanterns and shit.
Yeah.
And they would use, like, something to fuel it or whatever, you know? And that it just smelled like that, and they thought like maybe the lantern fell over the night, and he's kind of like passed out on the fumes, you know.
Yeah.
And then they realized his clothes is outside of the room, on the floor outside of the door, and it's drenched in like I don't know gas or something,
whatever that smell,
whatever
right?
that fume is, you know. Yeah. And it's drenched in there, and the door's locked, so like my grandpa had to like pretty much break it open, and they open it, and he's just like passed out in the room. And they wake him up and shit, and he says like he was pretty much conscious, but he couldn't move, and like that this man was in there and wouldn't let him leave the room.
Como que se le subió el muerto.
Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much. And like he would that man that's in the room like wouldn't let him leave the room, you know, or like he couldn't talk, he couldn't do nothing because he heard them like calling him and telling them to open the door, but he couldn't do anything. And then since they thought it was the lantern fell over or whatever, like they went to turn it off and turn it on, like to like fuck with the lantern to see if it was that, you know, and that they couldn't get it to turn on because all of it like it was empty, you know, like it got poured onto his clothes that was outside the room. Even though the lantern was like in the
Inside the room?
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense.
room. It was just crazy.
That shit, que se te sube el muerto, bro, that's crazy. My
Oh,
dad told
yeah.
me, bro, que over there, que se le subía el muerto. And the one time, bro, that he got mad and was like wiggling, bro, to like, you know, try and wake up, that he said he broke free from that. He went, whoop. And when he went, whoop, that like, he heard somebody like hit the
Fuck.
ground, bro, hard as fuck.
As if he like flew them off.
Whatever
like,
was on him, yeah. If whatever
the
was on him, he
fuck?
just flunked
That's
it off. And then
crazy.
like, he said after that, it stopped happening to him. After the one time that he like heard it hit the ground, whatever it was, that it stopped happening to
The
him.
ghost was like, damn, bitch.
He's a fucking asshole.
Yeah. He's like, I'm not coming back here no more. They say that shit about my grandma's house that it's like creepy as fuck and like haunted over there. I mean, not creepy as fuck like during the day and stuff, like on the regular, but there's a lot of stories where a cousin of mine like would stay there and stuff back in his like dog days and fucking just like be out like late drinking with girls, blah blah blah, this and that. And he'd come back and he'd stay at my grandma's house in this one room, and he'd be sleeping. And it's like 2 or 3 in the morning, and he's trying to fucking finally go to sleep. And fucking over there in Mexico, I don't know how it is for you guys, but for us, it's usually like metal doors on all the rooms and shit.
I think they're all like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
big ass heavy metal doors. And when you fucking knock on them or bang on them, they're loud as fuck.
Yeah, they rattle.
So he's like fucking in bed and shit, and you just hear fucking like pa 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 pa. And he's just like, what the fuck? He gets up, opens the door. There's nobody there. He's like, what the fuck? And he closes it again, gets in bed, waits a few minutes. He's like, actually, like, all right, whatever the fuck it was, you know, I'm going to sleep. Gets the fuck up. He's like, what the hell, you know? Closes it after he gets out, you know, and then he just like goes back to in the room, closes the door, instantly opens the fucking door. Nobody's there. He goes outside of the fucking like entire house and nobody's there. He's like, what the fuck?
Fuck
And he
that.
tells my grandma and grandpa in the morning, he's like, you guys didn't hear some banging at night? Like someone was banging on my door. They're like, no.
Also,
And they sleep literally like 8 feet across that room in a different room.
do you feel like when some shit happens to you like that, it's possible for them just to hear it and nobody else heard it?
Yes,
Yes.
100%.
When
You
it's
know what I
meant
mean?
for you, yeah.
Yeah.
I think
You
when
know?
it's
I
meant
do
for you,
believe
like,
that, yeah.
espantan a ti, yeah.
Yeah.
And it could. I've also heard that like it can relate to people that are fucking like addicted to shit, you know,
Or just like bad VCOs and
Yeah, 100%.
just bad energy.
Yeah,
It's like how you said that. What would you say was your uncle or whatever?
cousin.
That was on his dog days. It's like what I was telling you guys about last time.
And I consider him an alcoholic, or he was an alcoholic in those days.
What are you trying to say?
Huh?
Stuff be happening to me all the time. What are you trying to say?
Ooh, I didn't kind of put those
No,
together,
play it,
but now you got a point.
But my dad told me, I mean, like back when he was young, bro, like 17. He was definitely under 18 or whatever. But back then, you know, it was easy for him. He grew up back in a different time where we didn't have social media, obviously. So he had a girlfriend in this town, that town, and that's how, you know, he would do his runs and shit. And they would never find out about each other. And my grandma would tell him, like, don't do that. Te van a espantar, because those are bad things to do, you know what I'm saying? And he told me one time that the night that he stopped doing that shit was because he was visiting his last girl in the last town and walking home. And on his way home, that he ran into a woman on the path, you know, late as fuck. It's dark, people out there walk. So he's just like, whatever. Digo que la saludó, you know, like, hola señora, and this and that. She didn't answer him, bro. That she just kept walking past him. He was like, all right, whatever. So he kept this thing where he kept walking home. And as he was getting closer to the ranch, that he hit like one like light before he hit the edge of the edge of his town of Isclavaca before he went up to the ranch. There was a light there. He said when he got to that light that he like turned around because he felt like somebody was following him and shit. So he turned around and he saw the same woman, bro, just like far, like not far, but like probably from like where I'm sitting to your door over there, to your room. That he could see her and shit, and that he was just like, all right, that's weird, you know. And that he kept walking and shit, and just kept walking, and he would kind of like peek over his shoulder to like see where she was at, and that she wouldn't move until he crossed the river. And when he crossed the river and he turned around, and she was really far, but now she was in the light, like she was standing in the light where he just was. So now he could see her and shit. he said that like he saw her, bro, and like she looked real pale and like sickly. She had no legs. It looked like she was floating there and shit. And that her eyes were just like sunken black holes. And he said that when he saw that shit, he got fucking spooked and turned around and booked it, bro. So driving, bro, is like an hour up to his rancho and shit. So he ran the whole thing. He told me, I don't know how real that is, but he said he ran the whole thing. So that's fucking far, for just nonstop sprint.
But when you're under that adrenaline rush,
Dude,
it ain't shit, man.
Yeah, I believe that shit.
Yes.
But he said, bro, that he got to the entrance of the ranch of the pueblo, the little in the monte and shit, to catch his breath, bro. And then he bent over to catch his breath and shit. When he bent over to catch his breath, that like this hand touched him on his shoulder, bro. But he said it was this disgusting hand that had like the claws of a cat, and like it was real gray, bro. Like I don't even know how to describe. Like he said, like a nasty gray color, bro. And it touched his shoulder and shit. And then he smacked it off, bro. That he was just like, oh, what the fuck? And he ran inside the crib, bro. And then when he ran inside the crib and he turned around, he said he saw the woman still like watching him, bro. Like right at the edge of the light where he couldn't see anymore and shit. And he told my grandma, bro. And my grandma did a whole bendición on him with the egg. And then when they cracked it open, she said that the yolk was black. That was just straight up black.
He was like, man, I'm getting married.
She says that he was touched by like something evil. Well, it's because there's like a leyenda or whatever, La Malinche and shit like that. How it's like a woman who was done bogus by it's like an Aztec, whatever.
Yeah.
And she was done bogus by a Spaniard saying that, oh, I'm gonna love you, but I gotta go back to Spain and come back. And he came back with a whole family and shit. So she was heartbroken and she killed herself, So like they say that that's like somebody who haunts like people who fuck around with more than one, whatever.
Like unfaithful people.
Yeah, so I feel like that's what happened to your cousin, because you say he was on his dog days and shit. So it's like los pantaron,
Yeah.
shit like that. But
Damn.
that shit's nasty too.
Before we wrap this episode up, I
Yeah.
want to say one last story.
Yeah.
Fucking at the same room and shit, like with my uncle and my grandparents and stuff. My mom told me that my grandma told her one time that it was like early in the morning and the rooms are they're not connected, they're kind of separated like from the house, And my grandma walked by in the morning to my uncle's room, her son, and she saw him like tying his shoes, like tying his boots, getting ready for work and stuff. And like she said like buenos dias and shit to him, and like he kind of ignored her. And like she didn't really think anything of it, but she was like, oh, like, it's early, like he's probably having a bad day or had a bad night, And then she keeps walks out of the house like into like the yard, And then my uncle's out there, like he was already like about to leave,
Yeah.
And she's like, "Wait, weren't you just in your room tying boots?" And he's like, "No, like I've been out here for a while already,
It's like a doppelganger.
And then they walk back into the room to look, and like nobody's there, and there's like the same room, and like they always see like the same like man almost. It's kind of crazy.
Doppelganger.
What the fuck?
And they say it's like the guy that's like watching his fortune or whatever, That's crazy.
I thought it was maybe like a doppelganger. You know what that is? Like,
Yeah.
Like somebody who could look like somebody else.
Oh no, but I'm talking like I saw you in this room, and then I walk out, and you're over here, like.
Exactly. So Chris, I told you Chris,
Uh-huh.
he lived in some crazy haunted houses in Harvard and shit. So that's literally one of the stories he told me. He told me that like it was when he was a kid that they lived at this house in Harvard. It's by the pool. It's some yellow house. If you live in a yellow house by Harvard pool,
It's time to move.
for real.
Jeez.
Pack your bags, baby.
But he told me that like he was sleeping, bro. So it was like him and his brother and like his younger sister were all sleeping, And they obviously him and his brother shared a room, and his younger sister and their older sister shared a room. So it was like outside. It was like his dad and like their family and shit. And one of them was like, "Hey, go get more beer. There's like a store right there. Yeah, they take the bike and go get him more beer and shit." So the dude's like, "All right." Well, yeah, he left. He went on the bike. He left and shit. He went and got the beer. And when he was coming back, he specifically says that when he came back from the store on the bike and he was pedaling to the crib, that these little kids came up to him, bro, on bikes too. And it was late, bro. He says like 1 a.m, late as fuck. He said that these little kids the dude said that the little kids looked just like Chris and his sister. And that when they pulled up to the crib, that the kids disappeared and shit. And that he told their dad, he's like, "Why are your kids out? It's late." And he's like, "What the fuck you talking about?" He's like, "My kids are sleeping." That they went inside to check and that they were all sleeping, bro. Like all sleeping. But the dude's all like, "I saw him." Like he was with me right now. Him and your daughter were just with me. He's like with me and shit. Yeah. He also told me that one time he was sleeping in the room with his brother. And that like he saw his oldest sister in the corner of the room, bro, just staring at them and shit. Like that he said he woke up and he was like, "Oh, what are you doing in my room?" Like, hey, what are you doing? That like she didn't answer him, and then he fell back asleep. And the next day that he saw her, he asked her, he's like, "What were you doing in my room last night? You're just staring at us all weird." And she's like, "I wasn't even home last night. Like, what are you talking about?" But he says that he
What
like
the-
specifically saw her in the corner, bro. Just like, so he just staring at them and shit.
I would not be able to
Yeah.
go back to sleep after that.
Yeah.
Hell
for
no, I wouldn't
real.
have brushed that one off.
Yeah,
I
okay.
would have
guess.
swung, man.
Oh, God.
Well, I mean, think about it though. It's like his sister, you know, and he's a
Yeah.
kid. He's probably like, she's just in here
Still,
looking for
bro.
something.
I would have
Yeah,
been
I know.
like, you're just being weird. Nah, I would have
Exactly.
been like, yo, what the
Yeah.
fuck are you doing?
Facts.
I have a quick one too before we wrap it up. My mom has this relative cousin of hers in Mexico. This is years back, but this guy is disabled, so he can't walk on his own and stuff. They take him to church. They're all at church and stuff. I think because he was like in a wheelchair or whatever, it was easier kind of like seating him in the entrance of the church, kind of towards the back, right? So they had him seated there and stuff. And all of a sudden, towards the end of church or whatever, they notice he's gone. They're like, what the fuck? Like, he can't move on his own and stuff. And they're looking for him, and they can't find him. And then they go back home, and he's there. And then they're like, what happened to you, this and that? He's like, I was in the back of the church, and I look over, and I see this woman in the corner of the church just kept looking at me. She was like dressed in all black, like a black figure. And they're like, they're like, well, how did you get here? They're like, she brought me here.
Oh shit.
They're like, because like this guy has to be lifted up, put in a chair, this and that, carried.
Straight up can't walk.
Yeah, he can't walk. He's disabled. Like, how did you get here? Like, she brought me here.
That's crazy.
Hell no.
Hell nah.
Ain't going to your church, man.
No, that's in like fucking the Hut or some shit. I don't even know where the fuck that church is, but
Dude, it's different out there, bro.
Fuck.
it
Ghosts
is.
out there are built different, bro.
Yeah.
No cap.
All right, y'all. Well, this concludes this episode, the Halloween episode
Yes, sir.
of Side Hustle. Appreciate you, Rick, Kev,
Everybody
Diego,
dressing up.
Jay. I appreciate y'all for listening. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe.
Share the shit.
Please share this shit. And make sure you turn off the lights when you watch this.
Hey,
Yeah, you better watch this full screen.
you guys got to
Or-
comment your scary stories too, man.
Facts.
Facts.
Yeah.
And which one was your favorite, or
Yeah.
which one scared you the most?
Or which one
Yes.
you can relate to or whatever.
Facts.
And comment down below whose costume was the best. Come on now.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. Yeah.